This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Well, we at home were enjoying something that wasn't so rough, and it's the germ of the idea of the Four Horsemen. August 24th, that TV that we see in Atlanta that made your face famous, as you said, it's going to be Arn, Ole, and Tully joining the fracas. Let's take a listen here.
We are here with Ole and Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard with Baby Doll.
You know, Tony, it seems like every time you turn on your TV station on the Superstation, and it's Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes talking about getting beat up, getting double teamed, getting triple teamed by the Andersons, Tully Blanchard. That's all they want to do is cry spilt milk. Well, we got a tape, and we want to just show what America's team and Ronnie Bass, a newfound friend of theirs, does. Now look at this. Poor Denny Brown, I've got overmatched. Cruncho, and he's out of the picture. Now you watch your camera real close. Watch your screen. I know Ole and Arn and I have sat and studied this. Now here they come. Here they come. Street shoes, fists taped up, army boots. I don't know what kind of things are on there, attacking us. Look at this. Now this is America's team. Now you talk about interfering in somebody's match, attacking from behind. And in a minute, Ole, I know that you got some words. Come on.
Tully says it right. All the time, we're the ones that are being accused of jumping people. We're the ones 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Well, here's the situation. I could beat Dusty Rhodes by myself. Arn could beat him by himself. Tully could beat him. In fact, we've all done it. But here I got Dusty hanging on to one leg.
4 people.
Magnum TA hanging on the other one, and they get that Sam Houston, a little revenge, supposedly. Get back at the Andersons. Get back at Tully Blanchard. Well, I'll tell you what. Anybody can go do what they did. It doesn't take any great brain to get dressed up and come sneaking out of the woodpile and jump on a guy that's not even looking for you. Well, I'll tell you what, this time we're going to be looking. We're going to be watching. But we don't want to hear any excuses. We don't want to hear anybody crying spilled milk. We took it. I took it. Hurt my leg. Fine. That's great. When you see us next time, you better be ready. Because if we get a chance to be in a bunkhouse match, all of us together, bring Dusty Rhodes, bring Magnum TA, bring anybody you want. Put us in the ring with our boots on, with our spikes, hammers, nails, whatever you want. It's all legal. Then let's see how you come out.
Stay right with us.
Well, is that how you set up a bunkhouse match or what?
Yeah, and you know the ironic thing is you keep hearing it. There's the real truth, and there's a heel's truth.
That's right.
And we would whine and cry and claim that everything on God's earth was being done against us illegally and immorally and everything else, when it was us doing the things that we were trying to say they were doing. And it just, that was where the heat was. We would do all these things to them and then say they did it to us. And people hated you for it. I mean, it really was. Ole was the king of that. Of turning that around, saying how people jumping out of the woodpile and all that stuff on him. It was just so good and so creative. And we were all so full of shit. People really hated us in those days.
I feel strongly that saving money is important. You know, if it's not something we worry about now, boy, we are really going to worry about it later. And I want to help you get out of debt faster and do it with cheaper monthly payments. I'm talking to you if you're in a 30-year loan. Now is the time to take years off of your loan. We're routinely helping our listeners cut 5, 10, even 15 years off their loan, and you can do this without perfect credit with no money out of pocket. You've just got to start at SaveWithConrad.com. We're going to do TV on the 24th, where we see Arn and Ole taking on Brody Chase and Jason Walker. Of course, that is very much an enhancement match, but let's take a listen to the promo from that show. This is August 24th, 1985.
We saw these two men win earlier here today, the National Tag Team Champions, Ole and Arn Anderson.
Tony Giovanni, am I mistaken, or at the opening of today's program, was there a young man stretched out by the name of Denny Brown?
Yes, there was.
Denny Brown suddenly turned into a candygram to Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. Just a little message, just a way of showing you what the Andersons and Tully Blanchard, a very good friend of ours who I think's got a little Anderson in him, can do to a man that gets in the ring with us. Now then, Rhodes and Magnum, you've decided you want a Texas Tornado match. You don't want one Anderson on the outside and one on the inside. You want them both in there where you can look them eye to eye. Well, what's going to stop us from chucking one of you over the top and then doubling up on you. Just ask yourself that, Magnum and Dusty. What's going to stop us then?
Nothing. Nothing stops us. We're still the national champions. We're still the best tag team that there ever was or ever will be. And we're still looking for Dusty Rhodes. We're still looking for Magnum TA. And you can throw Denny Brown in there. You can throw Ron Bass in there. You can throw Jimmy Valiant in there. You can throw in Sam Houston or Starship Eagle. Whoever you want. We're ready. The Anderson brothers are back.
Coming up next, the Superstation Championship Challenge Series. Don't go away.
Was TV Day a fun day? Those Saturday TBS shows, was that a fun day or not so much?
It was difficult because you always had a house show that night.
Yeah.
You know, it was a full day. Wherever you came in from the night before, depending on how far the trip was, it could turn out to be 2 very, very long days. But we also knew that our television was our vehicle to make our living, you know, and most everybody was of the opinion, hell yes, man, that TV time is critical. It's so important to getting over, you know, and guys that were on that show, 605 to 805, every week are the same guys that people run into you on the street now that are 75 years old and go, hey man, you know, on Saturday, 605 to 805, I was not budging.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that face on that show week after week after week, you just became part of somebody's life, and that face of yours became ingrained in their memory, and they still talk about you today, and they remember the old days back then. And I have more people say that to me about any other time. Hey man, that 605 to 805, man, I did not budge. And I was the same way, and you were the same way too, Conrad. It was just the perfect time. If you were going out, you hadn't went out yet.
Right.
And if you weren't going out, you were home anyway. It was just an ideal time.
Let's mention the travel like you sort of set us up for. Columbia, South Carolina was the show on the 22nd. And then you went up to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on the 23rd. But then you've got to be back in town because you're doing this taping in the AM on August 24th in Atlanta. But that afternoon, you're doing a show in Macon, Georgia. And that evening, you're doing a show in Greensboro, North Carolina. And the next day, you're back in College Park, Georgia. And then you're back to South Carolina. This is quite the treadmill you're on here.
I think I just heard you say we actually had a triple shot.
Yeah. I mean, you did TV in the morning and then TV, or not a TV, but a house show, a spot show, if you will, in the afternoon, but then a big show in Greensboro that night. It's, that's shitting and getting, as we say here in the South.
Wow. As I hear it, even though I did it, obviously, and performed it and traveled it, it still seems like it's almost impossible. But every bit of that was done in your vehicle.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.